Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another INART 1/6 scale figure preview video. Before we begin, I want to say a massive thank you to Johnny, Ryan Kirkwood, and the rest of the team over at INART for securing us these exclusive high-res pictures. Now if you are looking to pre-order either the deluxe or standard version of Ron Weasley, I have popped some links to Spec Fiction in the description below. For full transparency, they are affiliate links, but any commission earned will be reinvested back into the channel and put towards making new content. And if you are buying from them, make sure you use the discount code JUSTIN15 for $15 off your order. While you're down in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new INART figure preview video goes live on the channel. Now, Ron does come with this standard base with both versions. So, unlike pretty much every single Hot Toys figure that has a diorama display base with the deluxe one, you aren't missing out on the standard base as well. You get both bases, which is bloody brilliant. Anyway, this is the standard display base. It's nice and compact thanks to the square form factor, and it's a magnetic base just like all of their other releases. Up on top, we have the Gryffindor house coat of arms. There's some intricate sculpt work around the edges, washes in the crevices, and some lighter grey dry brushing to bring out the detail. This is the diorama backdrop deluxe exclusive display base. They've even sculpted and textured and painted the back of the wall, which isn't something that you'd normally even see because unlike Harry, he doesn't have a broom to sit on, so pretty much 100% of the time you're going to have him standing in the diorama display base, unlike Harry where you could have him floating in front of it. We've got some lenticular portraits up on top, so as you shift the display base round, they'll move a little. We also have a table so you can pop some accessories on it, and I wouldn't be surprised if the flooring was made out of real wood, just like the diorama display base we got with their Heath Ledger Joker. Moving on to hands. So we do get two sets in total. We have the ungloved ones and the gloved ones. For the gloved hands, there's a ton of texture. There's some wrinkling at the base of the wrist, and it almost looks like there's some looseness to the fabric for the tips of the fingers. So the gloved hands, they're my personal favorite, but these look great. There's skin texture. There's some wrinkling, vein work, and even a little bit of paint on his fingernails to mimic cuticles. These bits of candy might just be contenders for accessories that I'd likely have displayed on the shelf in the diorama backdrop. The same thing I think can be said for the cards that come with the chocolate frogs. I am glad that we are getting multiple cards though, because we get a bunch of iconic wizards printed on the cards, and now we can accessory share. If you want to give some of these to Harry or Hermione, I'm pretty sure they're going to make her as well, totally doable. And you can use them as set dressing. You can even litter these around the display base just as some added world building, if you will. We do get some chocolate frogs, which is a good thing because we get all the cards from them, and these would have to be absolutely microscopic. But you can still tell that they are frogs. You've got a couple of different poses, one with its head turned all the way around, and one with its legs spread out, which might just be my personal favorite of the three. You see, these are my kind of accessories. Just the posing potential alone. They're going to be so fun to mess around with. You can have them causing mayhem in the diorama, or you could pose Ron to make it look like he's about to eat one. Now, he does come with some textbooks, which is kind of fitting because it's his first year Ron, so it makes sense. He was studying and still attending classes at that point. The sculpt work for the spine looks great. There's some gold inlay for the cover, silver for the other book, and they are fully printed on the inside. Oh, and so too is this one, but it is not a textbook. This is a hardcover comic book. The printing on these pages is so freaking sharp. You can actually read the wording, which isn't something that can be said for every company's 1/6 scale books. Some people like 1/6 scale chairs, others like 1/6 scale shoes. My thing is 1/6 scale books. And maybe animals. So this is Scabbers, and just imagine how small a 1/6 scale rat would be. he's absolutely microscopic. The beans. They had to include the beans. They're here, and I am now curious to find out if you can take them out of the packet. They would be even more microscopic than scabbers, if you could, but that would be a very nice touch, to be able to have Ron holding on to one of the beans. You can, however, have him holding on to one of these chicken wings. They might just be the most detailed chicken wings I've ever seen in 1/6 scale. I haven't seen a ton of chicken wings, but I am proud to say that a figure in my collection did come with 1/6 scale chicken wings, so I do currently have some in the collection. It does come with some binoculars. Well sculpted, well painted, I know I keep saying that, but it's the best way to describe what's going on here. There's a strap around the back. You can have him wearing these around his neck, or you can have him holding them. If the lenses actually work, that would be insane. I don't think they will. Who knows with INART though. You do get this little stool for him to sit on, and now's probably a good time to mention that there are some accessories he does come with that, unfortunately, they didn't snap pictures of. So he comes with the sorting hat, his Gryffindor scarf, and a chessboard. So you could have him sitting on the stool playing chess, or he could be sitting on the stool being sorted. You do get a removable robe with Ron, just like we got with Harry, so I'm glad that they are keeping it consistent. We can have all three when we eventually get Hermione displayed in their robes, or displayed just in their jumper and school uniform. The robes do have this textured weave to them, which I think was necessary, because otherwise they would just look like boring black pieces of fabric. Giving them that texture adds a lot of visual interest. They didn't mention if the robes were wired. Gandalf's robes weren't, so who knows, I guess. Fingers crossed they are, because you could get more dynamic with the robes if they are wired. We'll just have to wait and see when this guy or Harry eventually releases. On that patch for the Gryffindor coat of arms is actually stitched. It's not like a print or an iron-on transfer or something. The closures around the front are real too, so you will have to actually unbuckle them to remove the robe. You can have him wearing the hood if you want to. Not something that I'm likely to do personally, because that head sculpt, I mean, you can tell even from a distance, that looks like an 11, 12, or 13-year-old Rupert Grint. Why did I give you such a wide age range? Well, I tried to look up how old he was at the time of filming the first Harry Potter film, and one article said he was 11, another said he was 12, and another one said he was 13. So somewhere in that age range is about right. If you know, just weigh in down in the comments below. This is the sculpted hair head sculpt. And I am so happy with how this turned out, man. I mean, young people's faces are very hard to capture because they don't have a lot of those dead giveaway facial markers. Moles and freckles and wrinkles and frown lines, their faces are very smooth. Going with an exaggerated smirk like they've done was the right choice because it helps sell the likeness. This is a very Ron expression. And his eyes are movable too, so you're not stuck with them facing straight forward, you can move them around. Do I prefer the sculpted or the rooted hair? Well, we'll save that for when we get to the rooted hair head sculpt in just a second. There is weathering on the shoes, sculpted texture, wrinkling, and they are magnetic. That's how you attach him to the display base, after all. He does have some socks on underneath the trousers, so even if you have him in a more dynamic pose, you shouldn't have to worry about seeing any bare plastic bodies or ankle connectors. Getting the proportions right on Ron, because the body is bespoke to him, and having the scaling of the trousers and the jumper and the fabric to work correctly at this size of a body cannot have been easy, because it's already very difficult trying to get fabric to lay right on full-size adult figures. Making kids just ups the ante and makes everything that bit more challenging. They succeeded, in my opinion. Everything lays right. The jumper actually looks like a stretchy woolen jumper. And there's a bit of the shirt cuff poking out from underneath the sleeves of the jumper. And you can see the different coloured weave for the Gryffindor patterns on the jumper and around the collar. The tie is a proper tie, so you can loosen it or tighten it. It's entirely up to you. You can futz with the outfit, and you can have him wearing as many layers as you want him to, or you can have him in the winter outfit with the scarf on and the winter cape, they call it, just an outer robe, or you can have him in just a basic outfit. For me, it's all about the outfit that shows off the proportions best, and I reckon I'm not going with the robes. Let's talk about the rooted hair. So, rooted hair is kind of INART's thing, right? This is what they do. And it looks exceptional. It's well styled for the prototype. You can see that there's a bit of variation in the different colors of hair strands, so it's not all just one color. It's got a bit of a sheen to it. And it adds a touch of realism, which is what it's supposed to do. At the end of the day, rooted hair is supposed to be an upgrade, and I think it is. It's going to be down to personal preference. If you prefer the sculpted hair one, absolutely go for that version. For me, it's rooted or bust for Ron and for Harry. I think another thing to factor in is that when we get Hermione, she's got longer hair compared to the gents. So if you go for sculpted hair for her, that is going to drastically affect how realistic she looks. If you're going rooted for Hermione, you kind of sort of want to go for rooted with Harry and Ron as well. Otherwise, they might clash standing next to one another in the display. With that being said, even though my INART figures have come with their hair pre-styled in those little canisters, I have had to do a little bit of tweaking and futzing and adjusting here and there. So if you aren't up for doing some rooted hair styling, maybe Sculpted is the way to go, because no matter how perfectly they package it, it's individual real strands of hair jostling around, secured still in the canister, but there is movement with the box as it's being shipped to you, so strands are going to get loose, and then you will have to tame them when you get your Ron in hand. This is what the rooted hair one looks like next to Sculpted, and the plastic sheen for the sculpted hair head sculpt is a dead giveaway for me that it's an action figure versus real-life Rupert Grint as Ron Weasley. Even though I might not be the biggest Harry Potter fan out there, those movies are iconic, and I think that it's dope INART is continuing the line. I cannot wait to see what they're working on next. Now, I have popped those links in the description below, affiliate links, with the discount code Justin15 for $15 off your order for Spec Fiction. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.